As normally, we're going to start off with prayer. All right.
Father, did he leave? Who's just standing there?
Message is received from 32665013.
Chris, you're going to lead us in
Yeah,
prayer?
I will. Lord Father, God, we thank you for this day. God, we thank you that our hearts are knitted together and God, that our minds are of one accord. Lord, we are the ones who champion your righteous cause to restore our community, God. And Lord, to bring our people back to you and back to righteousness and back to greatness. And Lord, we will not do anything except you go before us. And God, when you give us great success, we'll give you all the glory and the honor. And we give you thanks and praise this morning in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. For today, we're going to defer the treasurer's report. We're going to defer the minutes because of a few complications and different things. The vice president is not here. The president. So, do anybody have any information that they might want to speak about? Maybe the vice president or the president spoke to them and they'd like to tell the membership?
In terms of membership, Jack, of course we know there's power in numbers. And so when we show up with these t-shirts on, the more of us that show up, like when we went to Wayne Westland school board meeting, how many people went to the school board meeting? The place was packed with Inkster people and NAN. And it just makes a statement. So invite people to join the NAN. Inkster needs NAN. Western Wayne County needs NAN. If for nothing else, even if they can't be very committed to everything we do, or some people work on Saturdays, they can't. Some people just join, have the t-shirt, and they're ready to ride when we say let's ride. And that's important, right? So we want to invite people to join the NAN, because you never know when we might have to back you up, or your child or your grandchild. Okay? So don't forget, now we need to push. We're down a little in attendance. This is the summer months. That always happens. It's a holiday weekend. But we'll be picking up. This place will be packed out again, I promise you. But that's not what's most important. What's most important is that when we say we got to go because somebody's in trouble, we need to posse up a lot of people to go. Okay? All right. Thank you. That's all I have on membership.
And let's all remember, this place we live, the only way we gotta grow is to shop where you live. And if there's anything I think we need to learn about economics, in the capitalistic system is the best way to grow the capitalistic system is to circulate your money around in the system. Unfortunately, we have a bad record of doing that. So what I'm here to ask everyone today, starting as soon as possible, let's try to make it a habit of shopping where you live. Let's start circulating the money in and around the neighborhood. You'd be surprised how the neighborhood grows when you invest in it. Even if it costs you a little more than expected, it would be worth the investment. And God knows we all need to invest in our community. And having said that, is there anybody that want to speak on anything that they think some of the membership should be involved in, are here in Inkster, are going forward?
You got a hand back there.
Yes.
I did, when you're talking about, trying to stay on your subject here, shop where you live.
Yes,
I just want you to know I had a concern, which I brought up at council, when you're talking about shopping where you live. I attempted 3 times to order from Little Caesar's Pizza
yes.
on Cherry Hill. They don't answer their phone. I even went in there and talked to them and told them, I said, you know what? You need to start answering your phone when people call. She said, well, we busy. Hello, pizza, please hold.
Yeah,
I stopped going there because it's too many times that they don't answer their phone. And I let them know, I'm ordering my pizza from Old Gully. Because, Van Horn, Little Caesars, Gully and Van Horn, because you don't answer your phone. You're losing business.
right.
Well, it's on the hook now. They take it off the hook.
Oh, no.
And it's there now. It doesn't matter. When I call you, I say, you know, this is the 3rd. In fact, within the 3 weeks, because I got grandkids on now. So, you know, I'm not putting pizza, $5
Message
pizza.
received from 326
But-
5014.
But the thing is, they're not answering their phone. So you're saying support those in your community, but the community not supporting your residents.
Right.
You
Okay.
can't get service. So that's the issue. So I brought it up to them, but I think it's probably falling on their ears, but I just wanted to bring that up.
A couple of us will stop by with our NAN shirts on and ask to speak to the manager. Tell them about our Shop Where You Live initiative and tell them that they're gonna be dropped out of it. Or boycott it altogether.
Well, the boycott, because they're not answering. But you go, I mean, you have to go in and order.
Well, I'm sure the owner of Little Caesars would like to hear about that.
Yes, and they should, right, because I'm ordering, you know, $5 pizza, you go and get it, but, you know, I like meat, volunteer. So I'm ordering 2 pizzas, and I want it ready when I go pick it up, but I can't order the second pizza because they won't answer the phone.
Oh, well,
Cephas had something too.
yeah.
Right here,
See,
Right here.
It's Thomas here.
I was in Family Dollar there right on Inkster Road in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And the Metro PC guy on the Metro PC store, he opens when he get ready.
Yeah.
So the lady was in the Family Dollar was telling me, you know, you should be opening up on time. I said, a lot of people in this community don't have transportation. They walking, they waiting for you to open up. And he's told them, that's his business, he can open up when he get ready.
Where was this?
Inkster Road and Michigan Ave, right there next
In the
door to
strip club.
Michigan Net.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's what NAN is for.
Yeah.
Ms. Hamilton, we need to pay him a visit. Okay.
Yeah, Metro PC store.
Little Caesars
He opened
and
when he
Metro
get ready. He
PCS,
said,
we
"It's
need
my
to pay them a
business." He opened
visit.
when he get ready, that's what he told one of the ladies working.
And I know she tell the truth, because that's where I pay my bill.
Okay.
And I had to wait on him to get to work, and he was late.
Wow.
I waited about a half hour there for somebody to come to work. And I walked in with him.
And that's why people go to other places where they get served.
Yeah.
The track can be
Oh, man, he got rid of it. It's his place.
Okay, all right. Moving on, we'll shift around a little bit on what
They
you
that work at the
Ms. Virginia Williams.
Yep. Fired up,
Ready to go.
ready to go. Fired up,
Ready to go.
fired up.
Ready to go.
Good
We
morning.
had to skip to the rally. Virginia has to take off, so she's gonna bring us the rally portion of our meeting today.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Virginia Williams, and I just want to inform you that it's an organization called Romulus Community Outreach. They leased one of the buildings over in the city of Romulus from the Romulus School District called Merriman Elementary. Since then, we've ran them out of town because it shouldn't have went to them anyway. It should have went to the pastor that asked for the contract in the first place, but they were being racist. After leaving, after being forced out, they left a bill of $10,423.09. Just this past Monday, they went to the school board and asked the school to forgive the debt. We're telling them no. our school is dealing with a debt elimination plan. The money that we pay and the state give our schools is to educate our kids. They pay the educators and to educate our kids. We shouldn't be taking on someone else's debt. Our school, we ask that our school move forward and proceed with recovering those funds. So the second Monday and the fourth Monday of every month, our school board has a meeting. We need to show up to make sure that they're following their own rules and to make sure that they don't just try to kick this debt up under the rug.
Virginia, can you tell them who makes up the Romulus, this group is, who this group is?
Our the Romulus School Board District has 4 African American women and 3 Caucasians. It's so sad because you can't tell. You know, they're voting based on what the superintendent wants, and that's not why we voted them in. And also, please let anyone that is considering on running for Romulus School Board, we have 3 seats up. And the deadline to file is on the 26th of July by 4 o'clock.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
It's this lady over here.
It's on this side.
So, who is this group that's trying to get the debt eliminated? Who is that made up of?
You said the 24th of July,
The 25th of July,
by
Is-
what time?
4 o'clock that evening, before City Hall closed. So, pardon me? That's the deadline for anyone in Inkster in the district that the kids go to Romulus schools. They can run for Romulus School Board. And we need a representative from Inkster on that board.
Occupation plan.
Mhm.
And I read that they were interviewing your superintendent. And I don't know where it was, but she was saying that you guys were out of debt. That there was no more deficit elimination plan, that you met the requirements when you were out of debt.
And, you know, people like to lie. We just met with them on this past Monday, and we're not totally out. And you have to, well, you guys don't know, but this superintendent that we have, we originally interviewed 4 African American men that was overly qualified. They lowered the bar for her to be able to become superintendent. So she really don't have the qualifications to be the superintendent. She came from Romulus Elementary School as a principal. But what a lot of the folks in Romulus, the Caucasians, they feel that they want to take their city back and their school board back. So, but if we don't speak up, that's what they're going to do. And they're not educating our kids. It's sad of what's happening. So if someone from Inkster can start showing up at those board meetings, that would really send a message.
Yeah, because it was out there that you were out of debt, and then I understand that they could say things was not. When we had a financial meeting before Tom their guy came in, they said we were out of debt, and we were not.
Right. And because I'm telling you, I go to the school board meeting, it's just like empty. So they can pretty much do and say what they want. Nobody's there to hold them to the fire. So if we can just start showing up and demanding that our money that goes into the school fund is to educate our kids, not to pay someone else's debt.
Who is this group that's asking for this $10,000? Who's made it? Isn't there the judge?
It's
What-
Brian Oakley is the 34th district judge. Chris Dunn, he's an employee of the city, and Pastor Bob, he's a pastor in Romulus, and that makes up the organization,
And
Romulus Community Outreach.
Oakley started this organization.
Yes, he
but
did.
He was running for judge. and he
Well,
was
what
trying-
he did, they wanted that school over on the other side of on the other side of the airport, because he wanted to be able to campaign on that side of town because his election was coming up. So the plan was to open up a food pantry, get the folks some bread and a can of beans, and they'll remember him during the election. Well, we rode them all the way to the end and ended up getting them evicted.
They never opened the food.
Yeah, they opened it.
They
opened
did
it.
open
Mhm.
it. Okay.
They didn't have food. What they had is they took They went to the hotel where the hotel was throwing away a lot of furniture, pictures and different things. It had bed bugs. So the hotel had to get rid of it. So they put it over in the school and was selling it. When
And
you-
then left the $10,000 debt that
Yes.
they want the school board to forget.
To
And
forget.
this is the judge who probably has $10,000 in his robe somewhere.
Well, the problem with that too is when I brought to our city council's attention that they were using our city address for their nonprofit organization, it's against our charter. The judge took his name off the organization and left Chris Dunn holding the bag.
These are the invoices for that debt that they left the school board with. You have copies of it.
So,
That's why Virginia says Easter residents come to the school board meetings. Virginia's usually there by herself.
Not anymore.
yeah, so, and even like on July the 30th, we're having a meet and greet. John Conyers, Kathy Garrett, and Benny Napoleon all have someone running against them. And I suggested to them when they asked me to do a meet and greet that we need to invite as many people from the Western Wayne County area instead of just focusing on Romulus. So that's what the flyer is about.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to forget Ings. Thank you.
Virginia?
Get another flyer.
Yeah. You want me to talk about that then? I know you got it.
Yeah,
going.
we just-
Yeah, okay. I'm trying
And
to
that's
find
Thursday.
that's Thursday?
Thursday on the 7th at 6 o'clock at the Westland City Hall.
Thursday the 7th at the Westland City Hall. What time?
I said,
6 o'clock. Okay. I'm trying to find you are, okay. Virginia has to go. Thank you for coming, Virginia. She has another appointment she has to get to. If you, I want to reiterate, we have had a campaign going all along to make sure we have a representative at Romulus Public Schools, school board meetings. Don't forget, please, Romulus and these other districts got our children. Now, granted, it happened to them just like it happened to Inkster. They were unprepared, true enough. But they wanted the children because these children meant dollars. These children get free and reduced lunch, and so they get all the title money, as I always tell you, and it means dollars. What you don't understand is that any of us can walk into a Romulus, Taylor, Wayne Westland, Westwood, and ask to see their school improvement plan. School improvement plan is the plan they gave to the state. If they're spending the title money the way they're supposed to, then it's no problem. When you go in and say, we want to see your school improvement plan, the knees go to shaking. I asked about that because my grandson was half a year behind in kindergarten. Do you know they caught him up in about a month? Moved him to the front of the class and made sure, but that's just one child, one grandmother yelling and screaming. We're the NAN, and we have to look out for all of our children. So that's why these Monday night school board meetings in Romulus is so important. And anyone who lives in the Romulus district who is interested, if you know somebody who might want to be on the school board, they don't want to see Inkster coming. They got one girl who lives in Romulus who grew up in Inkster. Because of her family, she got the Inkster vote, but she's sitting on the board not representing Inkster children. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you know someone who is interested in being on the school board, they can run. Because you cannot tax without representation. So Inkster can be on the board, can be on Taylor's, Wayne Westland, anyone. But 3 seats are coming up on Romulus' board. She told you July 25th, 4 o'clock was the deadline. Anyone who wants to run for those 3 seats in Romulus, we need to. Our children are not being educated. You know we deal with these kids every week at this church. We assessed them, about 40 or 50 of them on a Monday night. All but 4 were reading 3 to 4 grade levels behind. And comprehension was further behind than that. We had 11th and 12th graders reading at 3rd and 4th grade level. They couldn't recognize 3rd grade words. When you heard the rumor that the kids aren't going to school, they're not going to school. You guys know I'm in the trenches. I'm out there with them every day. They think they're doing something when they can, Miss Crystal, I went to school 2 times this week. And they're proud of that. Proud. Way behind in school, no help, no hope. Is there a truancy officer anywhere? Because I've never run into one. We got 14-year-olds ain't been to school in months. Nobody's getting in trouble for that. As long as you're here on count day and we get that money for you, we do not care anything. If your mama don't care, we don't care. Well, guess what? Somebody got to care. Who is it?
Here.
Somebody got to care. Somebody got to step in and step around mama and step around that daddy that ain't nowhere to be found, because we have masses of human beings that are literally becoming subhuman. Enough of that. Go to the school board meeting. Yes, ma'am.
Could you repeat the date of the school board meeting?
Gonza, what was it?
September 4th.
Yeah, it's
Oh, the school board meetings are Mondays. Yes, the
the 2nd and 4th month.
2nd and 4th Mondays at 6 o'clock. And I'll give you the address. Okay, if 3 or 4 of us show up, they are just undone. Who are you? Inkster? Who? Nan? Should we be dealing with you now? I said, yes, you should be dealing with us. So I need Virginia's gonna lead the way. I just need some folk to follow her. And you don't have to do nothing. Just sit there and look intimidating. And I'll bet they won't forgive Oakley's debt. We start there. Let's see if we can intimidate him enough to make him pay that $10,000 to the school board. The other thing for the rally, and Virginia had to leave, I sent out a text message about Julie Plawecki's candidacy. And first of all, we want to keep her family in prayer. And that was sudden, it was shocking, and we're all very hurt behind that. Julie, as you know, was running unopposed. So there are some candidates, and you got my text message. That was from the newspaper. Did anybody happen to read the actual newspaper article? You did? Okay, all right. So you can fill in the gaps, Norma. But basically, there are a couple Inkster residents who are throwing their name in the hat to run for state representative for this district. One is former Mayor Hilliard Hampton. Now, Hilliard ran for state and lost miserably. He didn't even carry Inkster. I'll leave it at that. And the other is Jewel Jones. Here's where we want to be mindful as a NAN issue. We don't want any hidden agendas, any backdoor dealing, any trying to just slide somebody in there, okay? Which is what we think is happening. And so I won't become accusatory and start naming names, but That's how it can go down, folks. Okay? We get one person to tell another person, hey, just have 3 delegates pick the person and you know, have it in such a way where people don't even know what's going on and no one can get involved, and all of a sudden you got somebody running for your state rep unopposed, unopposed in the primary that you don't want. So there's going to be 3 people, precinct delegates, chosen for this panel to choose who's going to replace Julie Plawecki in the August 2nd election.
I believe I'm going to go with delegates.
Crystal, you're gonna.
Well,
be
did you hear anything about it?
Here's what I got. There are gonna be 3 delegates to choose 3 people
No.
to run in the primary.
No, listen, listen.
That's the last one I got.
Okay,
That's the way it's supposed to go.
That's the way it's
old rule
supposed
they
to
used
go.
That's the old rule they used to use. I don't know whether it was the
They
late
have-
1990s or
read
late
it,
90s.
read it.
I have a letter, I'm a precinct delegate.
This is precinct delegate, this is a precinct
I have a
delegate.
letter. I have a letter.
Precinct delegate,
I'll read the
read.
letter.
Uh,
It says, I, Jonathan Kinlock, Chair of the 13th Congressional District Democratic Party Organization, a unit of the Michigan Democratic Party, hereby call a meeting of the Democratic Precinct delegates from within Michigan House of Representatives District 13, who were duly elected at the primary election held on August the 5th, 2014. The purpose of the meeting is to elect 3 delegates who will select a Democratic candidate. Not 3, a Democratic candidate.
I know they're supposed to elect one, each one of them elect one.
Like
No.
one of the 3.
One of each, and then the 3 run against each other in the primary.
No,
That's the
no.
last one I
No.
got.
It says
That's-
3
that's
delegates.
where I got
This is
this.
from Jonathan Kinlock. This
Okay.
letter is from Jonathan.
Who
Okay.
select a Democratic candidate to replace
Okay.
the deceased
Okay.
candidate. In other words, one candidate
That's
to
right.
replace the deceased candidate of Michigan House.
That can't be that way.
That's right.
That's
They're
not right.
using,
They can't do that.
what you're saying, Jack, they are
You're correct.
electing 3 delegates. So they're
Right.
bringing all the delegates together
Right,
to elect 3 delegates.
yeah.
Those 3 delegates is going to choose one person.
It can't work that way.
Well, that's how it's
It's right
working.
if the 3 delegates choose
Okay,
3 people, and
it
3
says-
people
it
run
says-
against each other in the
okay.
primary.
No,
Wait,
there's
Jack.
not gonna be a primary.
Jack,
No.
Go ahead.
that's, Virginia Williams said that that's the way it would be, the way she's saying. There are 3 candidates, and the delegates will elect one of those candidates.
No.
No. Okay, Norma has the letter, so read it again, Norma. We want the accurate information.
Well,
Okay.
The purpose of the meeting is to
Pardon
elect.
me, Miss.
Norma, will you come to the podium and read that?
Because there are more than one candidate.
This is from the 13th Congressional District Democratic
There is
Party.
more than one candidate,
right.
and one of them will be selected by the delegates.
Right, right.
And there's one of them that we want elected, and there's 2 of them we don't want elected.
Okay, Norma, will you come read that
we should
so
be
he can
focusing
get it on camera?
Telling the delegates,
That's not true what you're
that
saying.
is it, you're incorrect if you don't agree.
No, sorry. I said, I'm
No,
sorry.
no, that's, I think you're, come, will you read that, please?
Wait.
Oh, where's your gavel? Okay, please come read the letter from Jonathan
I
Kinlock.
want to yield to Councilwoman.
Please step up on the podium.
Yeah, we're asking you to step up here so he can hear you and see you.
Okay, I want to yield first to Councilwoman Beatrice Richardson.
I just want to say one thing. Candidates, those that are interested have until July the 5th at 5 o'clock to submit your request to be considered.
That's correct. That's
I
in
am
this
one of
letter.
those that have already submitted a request to be considered.
And there are
I am
others.
also.
So there's more than, so there's more than 3.
Yeah, so there.
It's more than 3.
You mentioned, there were 4.
4.
But I'm also submitted my request to be considered. So people have until
The 5th.
Tuesday at 5 o'clock to submit a request to be considered for that position.
And your name is,
Beatrice Richardson.
do you know who the other candidates are?
Yes. It was,
Yes.
Rashid, what's his name?
Bidem, Badem,
Yes.
Rashid Badem,
Is that Ms.
Bill
Richardson up there?
Hampton, there's Jewel Jones, and then there's another AU, some from here.
I just want to say,
From Heights, 2 from Inkster, one from 3 from Inkster, because I put my name in.
I just want to say you did a good job on Mr. Caddy's show.
Thank you.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
You represented Inkster well.
Thank you.
So we need to be focusing on which one of these 4 candidates.
Actually, it's 5 now.
Oh, so let's not quibble over
It's
how
gonna
many
be
there are.
seven.
It's more
It's
than
gonna be seven.
one. So we need to focus on which one of them that we think will best represent our values. You
It's not,
agree?
it's not we.
No. What
I'm
we
talking
have-
about the delegates.
You're
The
right.
3 delegates will be selected. Those 3 delegates will then pick the person.
Right, so I'm saying we need to be focusing on.
We who?
How do we get the delegates to focus on the right candidate?
The delegates, if I may, what's your name, baby?
Mr. Reed, Jim Reed.
Mr. Reed, okay, Jim Reed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what they're doing as delegates, we are going to go and we are going to pick 3 people who will go through the resumes and pick the best candidate. Inkster has
44 precinct delegates. Precinct delegates.
So we get to pick the committee. The committee will be 3 people from out of the delegates. You may be on that committee that chooses it. We get to vote who we want
To be
go
represented.
through, to go through the resume,
Okay.
to go through that. Then
Those 3,
that subcommittee.
those
that
3
committee
will vote.
Pick the person,
One person.
one person.
To be on the
that
ballot.
You understand? So
Yes,
as delegates,
that's
we
correct.
go and we vote what 3. It could be Mr. Reed, it could be Norma, it could be Chris, just say Ms. Thomas, because she in Inkster. It could be, we could pick, all of us will vote who we want to be on that committee. See,
The
if we
precinct.
have the power,
Because
because
we,
we got
the most,
the
the most precinct
We got
delegates.
44 delegates, more than
Right.
anybody.
Right.
So we can determine who we want to sit on that committee to choose the next person. That's important to
Absolutely,
Inkster
that's-
because
Right.
Inkster's never had that power to choose, to have control. Plus, we never had an opportunity to get somebody from Inkster to be the state rep.
Right, right.
So it could be his.
Big
opinion.
opportunity.
So, right.
Yeah, it could be, absolutely.
So the question is, how do we, what can we do to promote the candidate that should be picked?
No,
By
what
the
we
people,
do, what
by
we-
the people, by the delegates that are selected.
What we have to do is be there on July 7th. The 7th, Norma, on that day?
July 7th.
At Westland City Hall, all the delegates from Inkster.
All right.
All the delegates from Inkster meet in one, yes.
What time will that be?
6, is it?
6 o'clock,
o'clock.
6 o'clock
At
PM.
Westland City Hall.
Westland City
At
Hall.
6 o'clock on the,
At
what day?
Westland City.
Westland City Hall.
Yes, on Thursday, it's Thursday, isn't it, the 7th?
That's correct.
That's right.
And it's 36300 Warren Road in Westland.
All our delegates, what we have to do, those we know that are precinct delegates.
In Inkster.
In Inkster,
We
we
need
need to make sure that our people are there to vote and vote in a committee
of 3.
of 3.
3.
Just go represent us.
I wish I was.
Okay.
Well, you
Well, you
could be.
could be.
All you have to do is come.
You're a
I'm
precinct.
on-
Express your interest.
I'm gonna vote for Jack.
So it sounds like what the important thing here is anyone you know who may be a precinct. That's why I sent the text out and said, precinct delegates, it's important for you to know this information.
Right.
We have got to get every single one of those 44 delegates there in the House.
Yes.
Because then Inkster will vote in the 3 people that's gonna pick the state rep.
That's right.
Which means Inkster could have its first state
Rep.
rep, okay? And the date is what?
July 7th.
See, so we don't, that's coming up. And
Next week.
unfortunately,
Next week.
this is
Next
one of our
Thursday.
lower attending NAN members, so we got meetings. So we gotta get this word out, okay? Call, where the list, who can get us a list of the delegates?
It's online. It's online. I will pull it
Okay,
up.
pull it up. Who's willing to make some calls to the delegates? Miss Hamilton's willing to call some, can we pull that up? Maybe Father Clifton can pull it up even before we leave.
Father Clifton, please.
Yeah, and copy it. So we got 2 people willing to call some delegates. I'll call some delegates and tell them how important, and some may not even know unless, if they got the letter, hopefully they open it. And
The letter
'cause,
came yesterday in the mail.
Okay, all right, because I am a precinct delegate, and you get junk mail and stuff from
You get it
different
in
junk
Romulus?
emails.
In Romulus, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this letter came from, the address to West Lansing Hall, 36300 Bourne Road.
So hopefully they understand how important this is. It can be historic, and wow.
It's between Wayne Road and Newburgh.
Okay.
Between Wayne and Newburgh. On Warren.
I'd like to ask a question. Christie, this would be our first state rep. No,
That's not true.
That's not the first time Inkster will have a state rep?
we've had a state rep before.
Oh, okay.
Hiram McNeely,
Was that state rep?
Hiram McNeely was.
Years ago.
Oh, okay.
Years ago. Thanks for that
Okay,
correction.
well,
You're
how
right.
long ago was that?
Years ago. That was years ago.
How long ago? So, it'll be our first state rep in over 60 years. Well, Mr. Quays, how old you gonna be on your birthday? 83? 84. So Mr. Quays was a pup. It might be safe to say 60 years.
Okay. Is that all the questions now about the...
Any other questions?
What do you remember him?
Yeah.
He had a story on him.
You want me to read it again? One more
Okay.
time?
One more time, and Norma's gonna read this letter.
Okay. It said, this letter was sent to all Democratic precinct delegates that was elected August the 5th, 2014. I, Jonathan Kinlock, chair the 13th Congressional District Democratic Party Organization, a unit of the Michigan Democratic Party, hereby call a meeting of the Democratic precinct delegates from within Michigan House of Representatives, District 13, who were duly elected at the primary election held on August the 5th, 2014. The purpose of this meeting is to elect 3 delegates who will select a Democratic candidate to replace the deceased candidate in Michigan House of Representatives District 13 on the August 2nd, 2016 primary election ballot. The date is Thursday, July 7th, 2016. The time is 6:00 p.m. The location is West Lansing City Hall. Honorable William R. Weil, Mayor, 36300 Warren Road, Westland, Michigan 48185. And there's a phone number, 734-713-3888. Registered and qualified voters of Michigan House of District 11 wishing to be considered as a replacement Democratic candidate for Michigan House District 11 should submit their letter of interest, resume, or curriculum vitae by mail or may hand deliver only to the address below. The deadline to submit letters of interest is 5:00 p.m. Tuesday, July 5th, 2016. And they want you to send it to 13th Congressional District Democratic Party, care of Jonathan Kinlock. And then he gives his email address, or hand deliver, do not mail, 600 West Lafayette Boulevard, Detroit, Michigan, 48226. The selection will be made Thursday, July 7th, 2016. There will be no interviews.
Wow.
So before I finish, though, I would like to say that I would like to be one of those precinct delegates to make that selection. So I'm asking the precinct delegates to submit my name for consideration.
Anyone else would like to speak on the matter? Okay, moving right along. Richard? All right.
Richard, he's up here.
Thank you, Jack. How many veterans do we have in the audience today?
I'm one, and I'm a proud veteran.
Tens of thousands of our
I get
heroes,
free coffee every day at Circle K.
tens of thousands of our heroes from Desert Storm battles have been wrongfully discharged, either honorably or less than honorably. Senator Peters recently passed legislation that will help any veteran from Vietnam up to today that got less than an honorable discharge, giving them the opportunity to have it corrected and possible being reimbursed for a injustice. Gary Peters sent me this letter dated April the 4th, 2016. Dear Mr. Fournier, I'm writing to share the response my office received regarding your matter with the Board for Corrections of Naval Records. I was wrongfully discharged after serving under 3 commanders-in-chiefs, 7 command posts, 3 extensions of my minority contract, and a 6-year reenlistment. 3 months into that reenlistment, this is what happened. I was given a letter by the United States Navy dated 23 June 1965, alerting me that I was going to be discharged due to unsuitability. And this is what's happened to tens of thousands of our heroes, those who fought in the war and may have become disabled, even have hands or legs severed. Can you imagine the government taking these young men who were in the battlefield and taking away their uniforms and making them pay back their enlistment bonuses, not only devastating the single man, but what about that married guy? Had a wife and children. Anyway, the letter goes on to say the enclosed response from the Board for Correction indicates they have found the existence of an injustice warranting corrective action. The board determined that you were assigned an erroneous separation program number on your DD Form 214 for schizoid personality disorder when you were diagnosed and separated due to an inadequate personality disorder. That's the same handle that they put on tens of thousands of our heroes. Inadequate personality. That's a catch-all phrase and has really no meaning. In addition, the board determined that due to the injustice and stigma associated with your separation for unsuitability, the narrative reason of your discharge should be changed to secretarial authority. That's about the gist of it. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be reimbursed any money. That's immaterial. This is for justice. My case will stand to help tens of thousands of our combat veterans. Jimmy Reed knows my story very well. You know what? I have 2 honorable discharges. What about these fellows that got railroaded out of their positions with less than honorable discharges? Look how much trouble I've had to go through to get my benefits. I have been fighting for 51 years. 28 years hardcore. Am I right, Jimmy? Yep. 28 years hardcore. Well, I think it's time for that to come to an end. I've worked on this for a long time. This says here, Head Injured Survivors of America Incorporated, which is an organization that I started way back in 1991 to help my fellow veterans. This is called Military Case Files. True stories told by our veterans. Military Case Files is a pilot documentary made for TV, and the first in what we will hope will be a series of stories relating to events that our veterans have faced while in the military and after returning home. Military Case Files focuses on the turmoils of war veterans, the hardships that non-combatants face, their families, problems with the VA and other organizations that provide needed services. Stories with action, anger, compassion, drama, conspiracy theories, undocumented events, stories that need to be told. Our veteran stories from the Military Case Files. On Facebook, I met a fellow. His name is Xavier Anderson, and he's a disabled vet from one of the Desert Storm wars. He tells me he's going to come to Michigan and spend 3 days with me. He's doing a documentary, and he wants me to become part of a class action lawsuit. I'm willing to do that. Now, when I came to Inkster and became a member of NAN, that was because Jimmy Reed asked me to do that. So I came and I started to do what I could do. And I made up some materials, and me and Jimmy Reed ended up going down to the meeting on 14th Street. And I had this in hand, and I had this in hand. This one says the National Action Network presents Concerned Veterans of America, Charter Chapter CVA 41. Well, CVA 41 is the hull number of the USS Midway. I served on the Midway. I served on 3 ships while I was in the service. CVA 41, Concerned Volunteer Veterans of America, Charter Chapter 41. No justice, no peace. Then, this letter follows. It's dated February 11th, 2014, and I gave Sam Riddle a copy of this letter. I never got any response back from Sam or from Reverend Williams. 2, National Action Network. Subject, United States Veterans Civil Rights Due Process Violations. To whom this concerns, I'm a member in good standing of the Inkster, Michigan chapter. I'm also a totally and permanently disabled non-combat Navy veteran who is rated by the Veterans Administration and 100% service connected. I request NAN to review and support the current complaint filed February the 4th, 2014 before the United States Court of Federal Claims. After said review of the facts, I would suggest an effort to form a Veterans National Committee to include a legal defense counsel. I offer my own experience as proof of this need. Documented with my ID card showing who I am and my VA claim number. I got too sick to continue on my efforts here in Inkster. I now have a pacemaker in. I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm weak. I'm on blood thinners. I don't know how much time I've got left, but as long as I've got a breath in me, I'm going to fight for the rights of our veterans. Okay? I was so compassionate about that drive, and because of what we call constituent services, any elected official knows what I'm talking about when I say constituent services. That's those individuals on staff who have a rubber stamp signature. And when me as a constituent calls that office and says, I've got a complaint with my garbage, or I've got a complaint with my VA, they give me that representative's representative for that reason. If they take care of you, they take that rubber stamp and they stamp that elected official's name on that piece of paper. They put the elected official's initials in capital letters in the left-hand corner, / their initials. That's what I've been confronted with since 1988. In 1994, when I was only getting 10% service connected, I was so mad at the system that I asked the Republican Party if they could use me as a candidate. Oh, wasn't it big of them to give me a $200 token donation? Wow, that's going to really beat a dead horse across that finish line, isn't it? Well, I'm here to tell you, I was the campaign. I didn't have any TV ads or radio ads or lawn signs. 17% of the vote. 26,411 people voted for Richard Fournier. That's astronomical for an unknown name. Just think if I would have had a backing. Now in 2012, because the snail was still moving slow, I threw my name into the political arena one more time, and that was to challenge Debbie Stabenow. And again, I'm setting my platform on the rights and entitlements of veterans. I am a Michigan injured worker, first of all, okay? I was injured on a job in 1983, so I'm not new to disability. I've been disabled since 1983, but I went through every step to get well. I went through every training program to get back to work. I never lived off the system. I never got food stamps. I took care of my family's commitments by getting the help that I needed. And that's what brought me to here I am today in Inkster, still pleading my case at meetings for veterans, and let's get these elected officials to do their job, what they were meant to do. Jimmy Reed, God bless you. It's taken me all these years, and that man, you know what he did for me? He used his stature as a member of NAN and got us a meeting at WDIV. Did you not, Jimmy?
That's right, I did, and I thought it was the right thing to do, and we did it.
And what had happened was, back in 2012, I was watching America's Got Talent when this liar came out dressed like a cowboy, stuttering really bad. Told the audience and the judges that he was hurt in the war by a grenade and blah, 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 and that's why he stuttered. Saying like a charm. Everybody loved him. They actually had people crying in the audience. But 2 weeks later, it came out it was all a lie. He served in the National Guard, but he didn't get hurt. He wasn't getting benefits. And he didn't stutter. That was just a ploy. I call that stolen valor. And the biggest stolen valor one was A.J. Dickens, who fleeced the American public out of over $1 million, saying he was the highest decorated Navy SEAL. If liars can come out of the woodwork, get $60,000 for their story, why can't Richard Fournier find someone to give him $60,000 to do his story? And let's do an expose. Now I'm hoping to cut this very short, within the next minute I will be finished, so everybody can get on with their day. But I need assistance with this. And I think that what we need to do is start having the meetings that I proposed way back here, and let's get this thing off the road and do it the right way. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you, Jack. I'll be very brief. Richard Thorne has been fighting this battle for long. He is the only veteran who has succeeded in going before the People's Court in Washington, D.C. to have his case heard. And I'm going to tell you, the majority of the veterans that he is talking about are black. They are the ones who were discharged because of their color. They are the ones who were labeled and given the wrong codes because they wanted to get rid of them. They're out there, tens of thousands of them. And unlike Richard, they got unsuitability discharges, they got dishonorable discharges, general discharges, and so forth. So if we can give Richard a spot where he can begin to report on the progress that is being made with regards to setting up a fund, and he will probably do most of the fundraising and report here as to what progress we're making to help bring his case to a point where it will. Barack Obama is the one who started looking into these case files when he was in the Senate, but he stopped because he ran for president. Now Gary Peters, U.S. Senator from Michigan, is picking up the charge and has introduced a bill to correct these issues. And the rumbling from the public that we can make through somebody like Richard will call attention to thousands of veterans, black veterans who suffer from G6PD, and you'll know them when you see them wearing the big, thick glasses. If you go to the VA, you'll see them because the chloroquine Primercan pills that they took affected black veterans. Okay, I'm finished. Thank you.
All right, next we'll have Krista Linton reporting on track.
Yeah, just a report. This was supposed to be under the president's report, but Virginia had to leave. So this very quickly, we wrapped up our track camp this year. This is the 4th annual year that we've done this track camp. The NAN started this. The Episcopal Church and Westwood Schools collaborated with us, but we had another successful camp. And I just want to tell you that we have children who started in middle school who are now going to the 12th grade. So we're starting to see the fruit of our labor. We have one young man who this is his 3rd year with us. He was offered a full ride scholarship this week by the track coach from Madonna College. He may not take it because he might get a better deal, better offer, but he already has a full ride on the table. So let's give ourselves a hand. This is one of the kids that started with us from middle school. We have another young man who didn't start running track. He's a football player. Didn't start running track until last year when he came to our camp. We paid for him to be on the accelerators. They worked with him all year, and he is nationally ranked now. He's looking at either football or track scholarships. He's got his choice. And we have one other young lady going to the 12th grade, and my daughter's actually helping her with scholarships. So I'll give you the final report, but so far we have 1 full ride on the table, 2 more we're looking for. So we will have effectively helped 3 children go to college, guys. So feel proud about that track camp. Next year, the coaches are more committed. My daughter is coming home more next year to work on it because so really we did nothing. The kids just come back every year. But she is actually talking about expanding it because other schools have asked us to come there. And we just said, no, we're going to keep it at Robichaud. But we may go on and expand it to Romulus and Wayne Westland next year. And she will have D2 and D3 scouts there all the time. She said she wouldn't call on Big Ten, Pac-10, D1 schools unless she really had a superstar for them to come look at. So we hope that our camp will begin to become a scout camp, where the college scouts will be at our camp looking at it. And that originated with the National Action Network Inkster chapter as our Sports to Education initiative. We're the only one in the country doing anything like this. So be proud. That's all I want to say about the track camp. That's all I can think of right now, Jack.
Yeah, I remember we were walking around Inkster High School track.
Yeah,
It was all
we sure
broken
did.
down.
It was all broken up. That's right.
We begged Inkster High School to take it on. They refused. We went to Robichaud. They took us with open arms. And it's been history ever since. Chris has worked so hard on this. She spearheaded it. It's 90% Okay, moving on. Now it's time for fundraising.
Any community announcements before we got one over here? And I can get Father Clifton. He gonna pray? Oh, Mr. Quates, I'm sorry. Yes, he's not on the agenda. This is one of the most important things of the day. Let me bring the stuff over.
Okay. Here's another step NAN is getting ready to take. Thanks to the most gifted one, I say, in the house, Mr. Quake, Mr. John Quake.
Is he present? Is he present?
He is present.
Oh, he is present.
One of the most gifted, the most talented, the most kind, the most friendly person I've ever met. And his work speaks for itself. The project, Mrs. Quake, has begun.
They've been taken on by Walmart and they're being sold all over the world.
Well, not quite yet. We're on our way.
Yes.
The project, he has made the bust
Oh, lovely
of
couple
the
too.
president and his wife. And our target is to present this in Washington with a busload of Inkster people.
Oh yeah.
Along with the signed autograph of a lot of people that think our president, Barack Obama, has did a wonderful job. And to show him, we're going to start this off today, and we want to have it done no later than sometime in November. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of help. We're open for a lot of advice, and we're moving along. And if and when, and the if is now, because we're going to get started today, the fundraiser begin, the money comes in, 33% of every dollar goes to NAN. 33% goes to the operating capital. That's for us to carry on. And the other 33% goes to images. Images are a company started by, again, the most talented, the most giving, Mr. Quake. And we are, as images, are putting the responsibility, the expenses now, and we're on our way, and we intend not to stop until we get the bus, the book, and everything that goes with it to the White House and the president's hand for future preference. And at this point, Mr. Quake, would you like to speak on your beautiful work?
Thank you. First of all, I'd just like to say that at home, I work under poor conditions. One room there, it's got 2 bulbs in there, incandescent lights. They're nothing like fluorescent lights and daylight coming in. This room is lit up compared to my room at home. And when I look at the colors that I have put here, they're entirely different from what I thought. So I need to make some adjustments, I understand that, because I don't like these colors when I see this
under this lighting at all. So I understand that. And then I look around at you people, and I look at his, and I got to make it reflect what I'm seeing. And right now it don't reflect huh?
I love those colors.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
That is beautiful.
All right. Now, another thing I want to talk about is eventually our project has to have a name. It has to have some kind of title. For all artwork got a title. So I have jot down a couple of things that might be, but I wanted to ask somebody if sooner or later they can come up and help me get a title for this thing. I've thought about things like of greatness, a tribute to excellence, or just plain Barack and Michelle. Now I want to tell you about that. In history, we have had some famous couples. We have Napoleon and Josephine and Solomon and Bathsheba and Anthony and Cleopatra. We got John Smith and Pocahontas. We got John and Jackie Kennedy. Just these couples that have done such a beautiful job in their lifetime. Well, I think that these two people, whether we might think a little of it, but these two people, as far as I'm concerned, have done one of the most outstanding jobs that I can even think of. And I'm thinking we should...
Celebration of excellence.
Huh?
How beautiful. Celebration of excellence.
Celebration of blackness?
Excellence. Excellence. Wasn't that what you
Celebration of excellence?
said? Yeah, was that what you said?
Yeah.
Because he's excellent.
Or a tribute to greatness.
Either one of them. I mean, as far as
Let me see now. What else I want to say? Oh, I just want to mention a few things about this itself. When an artist is doing things, you know, they got their own mind going, and they got, for instance, my number one thing I wanted to do, that not at this moment, because when I put the hair on her, it became, I wanted to make them the same height, because I felt like their contribution was equal, as far as I'm concerned. A man and woman, we might think little of it, but I remember once asking an African, years and years ago, I said, why do the men take a leading role over the women in Africa? He said, well, when we go out in public, he said, the man always is the leader. He said, but when we get home and close the door to our bedroom, we're man and wife. There's two people in there. Anyway, I happen to think that the contribution was equal, whether it was or not. So I was going to make them equal in height. Now, another thing was this thing about same sex. His base is square. Her base is round. That's the statement as far as I'm concerned. Or there's a difference between the two of them. There ain't no same sex thing going on here. I think this thing is about, I'm gonna say 85% completed now. I always knew it had to be fine tuned up because it's rough right now, but her dress, her hair, more so her than him. But if you say you like these colors, I'll stick with them a little while, but.
oh yeah, and they're going to be great photogenically when people take pictures of them. You know? Right.
Yeah.
Those are great colors, man.
All right, okay. I won't bother with that. Now, still, we're gonna have a candle that signifies the light that they brought to the world. But this is almost, I don't have any major issues here with this. I can complete this now, just almost with my eyes closed. So, I want to turn your attention to the book, because this is the big thing now. This is going to be our money. This is where our money is going to come in. If we can get enough contributions, enough names to fill up our book, and everybody make a little contribution. We don't have to make big contributions. We have to make little contributions, but get enough to fill up this book.
I'll put my name in there today.
And so far, we have the mayor who has committed, Mayor of Inkster. We want to have a fly page in here with his picture. Inkster. Can you imagine a community coming together and saying thank you? That's what we need to do. We need to come together as a community and say thank you to this man and this woman for the job that they have done. We have the mayor who's already committed. Many council members have committed. The Chamber of Commerce has committed. Now, we need to go to the churches, the businesses, and the people. We the people. And fill this book up. And I want to see, I'm interested in saying thank you to our president and and the first lady. But folks, I want to see this book get filled up. I want to see some money going into our account. We just raised a little money with our breakfast that we had. But you know what? Chris gave this magnificent track meet, and we had dipped in the little money, and that little money didn't stay in the bank. It was like on a revolving. I want to put up some money in the bank where we have a little money to do something. Now all we got is $1 contribution, $2, $3. We'll put your name in this book. And I want to see everybody else's name in this book.
That's
and
right.
we got time to do it now. We got 4 or 5 months to work with.
That's right.
And we're going to, in the next few weeks, you're going to see this all over town. We're just here talking here today, but you can really see this all over town. And hopefully, we can make a little money for NAN. Okay, that's all. One other thing. I got some envelopes here. I was going to pass out these envelopes today, but we got time. And when I pass out these envelopes, I want you to put a little something in there. And if you want to jot down something on the envelope, your name and your zip code, and if you want to say 10 words or less, you want to say, hey, thank you guys for the job you did. Do that and pass in an envelope. I want everybody in East to pass in one of these envelopes. Thank you. Yeah,
What's the name of the book?
Huh?
What's the name of the book?
What is the name of it? Now, the name of the book, I want to design this book similar to the Bible. I want it to be a black book with gold letters. Okay? And this book, so far, it's just a thank you. A book of Thanksgiving. Let's call it right now the Book of Thanksgiving. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to thank them people for it. So we can call it the Book of Thanksgiving right now unless we come up with something. And also in the book will be some of his accomplishments that he's done. Yeah. 6, 8 years he's been president. This is just coming together, and we ask for everybody's support and to pass it around, like he said. I want to see Inkster come together and do something. Yeah, together, we do something. And this will be definitely about Inkster. It will start in Inkster and spread abroad. I mean, and I think only Inkster can do it. Oh, and Congressman Conyers has already agreed to help us get this to the president. Now, what I want to do, I want to earn enough money where we can rent a bus and a convoy of us go to Washington and present this to the president, okay?
That's the city of Inkster.
Inkster, little Inkster.
How
Make a
about
big statement, okay? Our target date is before the end of November. So we got time
Jack, could I just add one comment to Mr. Wade's
Go ahead.
project?
Yes, sir.
And I think it's relevant, and that quote is, if you are a failure in life, it is because you failed to honor someone. If you are a success in life, it is because you honored somebody. You can use that if you want, John. Don't steal it, though. I want my royalties from it.
Okay, we're gonna move right along. Don't everybody get quiet. It's that time again. We'd like to raise a little fund to keep us going. It's time to dance the head around. You know, kind of get in your pocket, get your purses out. We got time. Mr. Quaid.
Am I right, my man?
Mr. Quaid. Mr. Quaid, would you do us down there to go around in there?
Okay.
Pick up
Get ready, get ready. I'll give you time. Get ready.
I'm gonna put something in that pot.
All right.
This is worth it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Hey, Kurt.
I ain't just talking and talk.
All right. Thank you. All right. Walking the walk, baby. Thank you very much.
Please, Bill, please. What do we want?
Here's some change.
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
All right, give it.
Reared up, ready to go. Fired up.
Fired up.
Fired up, fired up.
Fired up.
If we fight, we win.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
God bless America.
Okay, well, that time is coming down.
Now, anybody feel good, you can take one of these envelopes today. I hadn't planned on passing them
Okay, I
out.
will.
And anything you want to go in your book, write it on the envelope.
Okay. Hey, we got the vice president.
Hey,
I'd like to
Okay.
apologize for being late. I work midnights and because of staffing, you know, I had to work overtime, you know, and then I had to try to race to try to get here to the meeting. And I apologize for being late, you know. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming out to today's meeting. I understand this is a holiday weekend, and I'm just glad to see the faces that are here that took the time. Councilwoman D. Richardson, James Richardson, her husband, Richard, Mr. Dr. Reed, I'm giving that title, and the executive board for NAN, which consists of myself, Curtis Bundles, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Quaid, and Kevin, I don't even know his last name. I apologize for that. Barnes, yeah, I'm sorry, and Crystal Liddy. You know, we all want to thank you all for coming out today. You know, taking time to come out today and spend this first Saturday meeting with us. We have planned on in August to rally in August, first Saturday in August, and I talked to Mr. Riddle, Sam Riddles, at the VA. I seen him at the VA hospital a couple of days ago, and he's willing to come out. And some of the things that he wanted to talk about is about Richard, the veterans, and what they're going through, and the empowerment of our youth. Okay, these are some of the things that he said he wanted to come out and talk to the Inkster Western Wayne chapter of NAN. Excuse me.
Is he coming to a regular meeting, or is this going to be a special?
Well, he's going to come to our regular meetings. You know, he said he's willing to come anytime, and he was going to come to this meeting today, but I felt that we was we're gonna have that many participation of people to come out because of it being the holiday weekend. So, I asked him if we can, schedule a meeting for him to come out and speak to us at a later date. And so what we're gonna try to do is, if he's not out of town and doesn't have any other commitments, we're gonna have him come out to our August meeting and discuss some things with the East and Western Wayne chapter of NAN, and so we can move forward. Another thing on the agenda, on my agenda for NAN as vice president, we want to start trying to recruit members. Okay, my understanding is about 24,000 residents in the city of Inkster, and I believe 21,000 are registered voters. I would like for every 24,000 residents of Inkster to be a part of some group. They don't necessarily have to join NAN, but I would like for them to be a part of some group out here in Inkster. We have several outstanding groups, but I would like them to be a part of a group so they can get the information, you know, that we put out monthly or the groups put out weekly, you know, and be able to let their family members know. So these are some of the things that I'm looking forward to doing and trying to recruit NAN members and members to the other organizations that are out here in Inkster, because we want to save our city. You know, the school got dismantled, got torn down, you know. So what we're trying to do is save our city now, okay? That is one of the things on our agenda. So talk to your family members, talk to your friends about coming out, join us, one of these groups that we have, you know, in place in the city of Inkster, okay? And another thing, they're having their first, I believe it's their first annual music real festival over here on Middlebelt. I believe the address is 3250.
Where the high school was.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I rode by there yesterday evening. They had a nice little setup, you know, it's supposed to be for 3 days, first, second, and third.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, go by there and okay.
Yeah, he'll be out there, and several other things. They're gonna be changing names each and every day. It sounds like a real nice event. Well, I don't know, I don't know whether it's too late for you vendors to purchase a space or anything. I don't know whether that's too late or not, but they was offering vendors spaces and everything. Just take your chair and enjoy yourself.
Yes, and another thing here, Mr. Quay, I mean, you talked about this project that you had going with Obama, President Obama and Michelle, you know, and I was looking at when you first started to where you're at now. This is great, man. This is really great. And what we need to do once we get it a little bit more complete to your satisfaction, we need to have the media to come out here to the city of Inkster, make channel 2, channel 4, and channel 7, and let outsiders know what we're doing here in the city of Inkster and what Mr. Quake has done with this. We need the media attention, you know,
right,
and be able to put it out.
We'll get.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Mr. Vice President, I heard what you said, and I focused in on it real quick about getting members.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is so critical. And I have a suggestion that I would like to offer. I don't know if it's legal, but we can figure that out. And a few of us can get together and put the money together. And I think that if we did it, it would generate a lot of people coming out and signing up to be members. And if 10 people came, we'd probably get 2 good members out of it. But I'm suggesting to you that if we put a 4-digit number on each application that's filled out by a citizen of Inkster, and at the end of a period of time, at a date, and if they have that application with that 4-digit number on it, they'll win $1,000. I don't know if that's legal, but that'll get people out. And if we get 100 people out, we may get 10 good members out of it. You see what I'm saying?
I understand.
You can find out if that's
We
legal.
have to investigate that a little bit.
Yeah, investigate that, and if we can do that, a few men here can get together and put together the money and get it out to the public, and if they think they'll win that $1,000,
They gonna come out.
they may come out. And if we make it $5,000, we know they'll come out.
Any amount of money,
Well, not just
forward.
any amount of money,
Yeah.
but at least $1,000, because $500 is not that attractive.
Yeah.
But $1,000 will draw people out. So that's my suggestion. Let me know if it's legal.
Yes.
Now, we could bring that up at the next meeting.
Okay, excuse me, Dee?
Yeah, I had a community announcement, so that's
Okay.
kind
I apologize, I just overrode that and just, I want to make myself present. And now, Councilwoman
just a
Dee
quick-
Richard
I'm sorry.
got a community announcement.
Yeah,
I do apologize, you know.
Okay, just want to inform you, we are still moving on forward with the Detroit Coalition, the ones that came out and did the listening project. I have been meeting with them in Detroit, and I've even been up to Lansing, and we've been having meetings with other school districts of color where the state has taken over their schools. Now, on July the 16th, July the 16th, at 11 o'clock at Inkster Complex, we'll be having a meeting with the coalition and the Viking Pride. We're sponsoring. I want you to come out. We are still doing a documentary. She is still Katie, who was here recording everybody. That is part of the documentary. She went to the picnic they had for the alumni. She's been out interviewing certain people. I have Dr. Woodrow Whitlow come in, they interviewed him. So we are still doing a documentary on Inkster. So I want you to be aware of that. But in the last meeting that we had last month, I met with a coalition, which is the Journey for Justice. They came in from Chicago and from New York, New Jersey. They're coming to Inkster on the 16th. Now, these people are dedicated. They had a slide, a film, where Chicago, they went on a 34-day hunger strike for their schools.
All right.
Their school, that system was turned around. In New York, they tore down their buildings like they did with us. They had protests. They chained themselves into public offices in the city, up in the state. And guess what? They built them a new community school from the ground up. These people are willing to come in and help us. We need to get our property back. We need some schools back in Inkster. So they're willing to come in and help us. They even told me they could probably get an attorney for us, pro bono, class action lawsuit. I just want to inform you guys to put the word out, to please come complex on the 16th at 11 o'clock. We have people coming in, not only the last person that joined the group was Albion. They called me, in fact, there's some article in here, Fallen Spirit in here, where I'm being interviewed about Inkster schools. This was in Canton Library. These are free. This was in Canton Library. I got a couple of them here. And Albion called. I guess I'll be some more. Albion schools has been dissolved. Albion is 95% black. They're making their kids go to Marshall schools, which is 98% Caucasian. So they are very, very upset, and they are coming to this our session on July 16th. So we got to rally around each other, support each other. So I'm asking you, please don't forget on July 16th, Saturday, at 11 o'clock at the complex, to please come on. That's my announcement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And like I said, she did a beautiful job about it, show.
Wait, tell me about
Would you like to speak a little bit on that?
Yeah.
Yesterday on Mildred Gaddis, they were talking about how they're dissolving schools and the impact that it's having on communities. So y'all know I couldn't resist, so I called in and they put me on the radio. And I just talked about how they did our school district and the devastation that it has been to our community. So I've gotten a lot of calls. I didn't know so many people listen to it. But I did do an email to her to ask to come on her program so I can bring a focus to Inkster. They talk a lot about Detroit and Flint, and I met people from Detroit, Flint, Saginaw, all these schools that are struggling. I met with them, and you know, I think we're still, a lot of them still have their, even if there's somebody from University, they still have their buildings. Ours are gone. So we have a story to tell them what Detroit is going through. They need to listen to us and whereas to what's going to happen next.
Right, that's right.
You know, so they need to know. We're the example. And if we remain silent, they're going to continue to do that to all our communities, and our kids are going to be lost.
That's right.
So I was able to speak on that on Military Academy yesterday. So
And you
that's
painted a
what it was.
beautiful picture.
Yes, thank you.
I got one announcement too. There is a health enrollment fair next Saturday too, here. So, you know, we can all be at Book-a-Dozier at 11. This starts at 10. Anyone that you know who doesn't have health care, there will be enrollers out here at 10 from 10 to 1.
What day is yours?
16,
Or 16?
10 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, but that's anyone who doesn't have health care, who you might know that need to come by here and get enrolled in health care.
She said
10, it starts at 10. So NAN needs to be there at Book-a-Dozier because it was the NAN. I'm sorry, I got to tout, but it was the NAN that asked them to go to that meeting with the, we thought it was the UN at that time, but we asked the delegation to go down there. Deartress went and represented Inkster NAN, and it has taken off from there. So NAN still needs to
Yeah, they're still
follow.
dealing with the UN. They are.
Still dealing with NAN, okay. So NAN needs to follow through with this, because just like the track camp, this started out our baby. We don't have something.
Yeah, no, I just have a question as far as who's, are they enrolling people in the Healthy Michigan program here, or
I want to call it Obamacare, but
So
healthcare.
it's Healthy Michigan.
That's Healthy Michigan.
Healthy Michigan, okay.
That's the same thing.
Yeah. Usually you can't enroll in the middle like this, but there's people who have life changes, they lost jobs,
Right.
things that happen. So anyone who's without health care because of something that happened, they can come and get enrolled.
Who's doing the enrollment?
This is a nonprofit group. I did make sure that it's not some insurance company just trying to sell their product.
Yeah.
No, this is a non-profit group, and actually it's NAN collaboration with them again. This will be our second healthcare enrollment fair. In case anybody didn't know, we had one a couple of years ago when Obamacare first rolled out. It was packed, so we were helping people enroll. So this may not be as prevalent because most people have healthcare now, but there are some folks who do be on.
Well, next time we do one, because I didn't know we were doing it, I can go over to the health center over here, and we can bring some representatives over there, because we do Healthy Michigan all day long with the health center.
Okay, all right. Well, this is, it's all part of fighting injustice. It's the fact that our communities suffer in our health by greater percentages than others. So that's why the NAN does have a health and wellness component.
Well,
Okay.
when you let them know to let you use Healthy dental services, now they got dentists over there. We need some help.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I think we're done.
One other thing, I'd like to thank our video person, and it has something to do with him coming out videotaping our meetings. We want to thank, what is your name, sir?
Carlos.
What's your name?
On my end?
Yes. Essel, we want to thank Essel and thank Jack's son Carlos for having you say Esso? Esso to come out here and videotape our meetings so we have some type of record of our meetings that we have. And again, we want to thank both of these individuals. Thank you.
We also did a good job of last month's our meeting. Very good. And also of the parade. He does good work, so if anybody needs any video service, he's the person to see. Do we have any more community reports? So,
There is onions, there's pita bread, there's a few items over here that need to be taken. Take a bag of onions, take as much of this bread as you want. We've got a freezer full of it. So the stuff on the table, please take it with you. Thanks.
Okay, at this time,
Oh, question here.
question.
I haven't been able to attend the council meetings, but I want to know, and I know that Ms. Watley isn't here today, but when there is a problem with trash in your neighborhood, what can you do about that? Because there is some trash in front of you.
First, Mrs. Asante. Eastern Park. Second Avenue.
Is that it for the community reports? At this time, Father Clifford.
I would just like to announce St. Clements and the Nation of Islam Prayer Group are joining forces for the 5th Annual Navy Bean Festival. It will be held here on the second Saturday of August, and it's an expanded Navy Bean Festival this time with cooking contests, with recipes being given out, with health considerations, especially talking about the benefit of the Navy bean and coconut oil. And for me, it's going to be as much of a learning experience for me as it will be for most people attending. So we'd like to invite everybody and ask for your support.
That's it. They always do a good job on that. Believe me.
That was August 2nd.
Second Saturday.
Second Saturday.
Second Saturday in August.
Oh, yeah.
Is that it on the community report? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
More.
Okay. So, all right, at this time, we close our meeting. And are we going to close the prayer?
Yes. If we're following,
I'd like to close with what we call family prayer here at St. Clements, short and sweet. Bless us, Lord. Bless our friends. Bless the gifts you give, that you give that do not end. Keep us strong and help us to grow and develop. Peace of your love. Because that's our